Lisa. How are you? Oh, we don't have Lisa's audio. Are you there, Lisa? Hello. I can hear you, but I can't hear you. Something just went wacky. I know, it shows that I have it too, but she's not in my ear. Welcome to the world of live. We had audio just a brief couple seconds ago. Can you hear me, Lisa? I still can't hear you. Ooh, I heard a dog. Oh, I think
It's
that's.
mine. Sorry. Sorry
um,
about that.
oh no, we have a guest, but Lisa, can you unconnect and reconnect to the call? So I'm just going to talk for a second while she goes away and comes back. We are here today. It is, I believe it's I don't know what it is, the 23rd of the month. Oh no, it's the 22nd of the month. We are still here in the corona crisis. Tennis has been shut down worldwide for a while now. Looks like it might come back here in the United States because we are just, you know, about to have some of the states start opening back up. And it looks like Lisa's back and we may have her audio.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, we can hear you.
Okay,
So,
good, good, good. All
welcome.
right. Good morning, everybody.
How are you? I was just telling people that, here we are on the 22nd, in case somebody's watching this video on demand at a later time, that we are, at the date where we've been hearing announcements of states starting to open back up here in the
Yeah,
United States. A lot of the world is still closed down. And I think our
yeah,
goal today was to kind of get to the facts of things and to come up with solutions.
absolutely. Yeah, I think it's time to do that. And I mean, especially in light of what's happening in Georgia with the governor announcing this week that he's reopening some businesses. I still don't really understand what's going on there, other than I think this is economics driven as opposed to medically driven or science driven, which seems to be a sad MO for my home state of Georgia these days. Um, for those who aren't aware, Governor Kemp of Georgia announced earlier this week that as of Friday this week, he is reopening hair salons, nail salons, massage facilities, tattoo facilities, and bowling alleys.
Yep. I think
And
gyms also.
Oh, and gyms. And then on Monday, restaurants can start opening their dining rooms to serve patrons. And he's talking about having movie theaters open as well. Um, so, that begs the question of how does a hair salon or a nail salon or a massage spa or a tattoo parlor, for that matter, practice social distancing? It's impossible. And, somebody posted something I saw that made me kind of giggle about, tattoo parlors using 6 foot long needles. So they would be,
Wow.
remotely, um,
Hmm.
which anyway, I don't understand what's going on. But
Yeah, but I
anyway,
think that it also means that the world's continuing to change, and each week we leave this show saying we'll talk to you next week, and the world will look very
who
different
knows?
than it did right
Yeah,
now, right? So we're certainly at one of those
exactly.
places where it's starting to look different again, and some my friends in Spain are still under lockdown. The kids haven't been allowed outside of the house for 6 weeks. So those of us that have been locked down for a little while but still get to go out and walk around, and, we don't have it like some other places have it. But we have a guest
Right.
today,
We do.
a coach who comes to us, I believe, from Mexico. And Coach, how are you?
Yes, thank you for the invitation. As well as you guys I'm locked down with my family, and same here in Mexico. We're gonna. The government has announced that we might come out June 1st, so we still have a little while to wait inside, and well, I'm here because I want to get some insight of what you guys are trying to do, or what are your suggestions for during this lockdown with our players, our students, our clients, and that's why I'm here. Thank you for the invitation.
And Lisa, I don't want to step on you, so please, if interrupt me whenever you have something you want to say. Where
Will
in
do.
Mexico are you, Coach? By the way, Rodolfo Cisneros is. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, very well. I'm from Querétaro, which is 2 hours away from Mexico City. It's not as bad as Mexico City. Mexico City is one of the most affected cities because it's very crowded. So we're still with low cases of infection. So we're still safe, but still we're taking the cautions that government has asked us to do.
What's going on with tennis there in terms of training or playing at all?
Well, I work at two places. I work at a sports club. We have a junior academy. We also have adults clinics and all that stuff. And I also work as a tennis coach at a university. Uh, what we have been doing is a lot of sessions in Zoom. We sent our students a lot of exercises to do at home. We do videos, but some coaches, some colleagues have found facilities that are still open, but government has closed out everything. So we're basically what we do is everything online. But I have found that the people is getting tired. Example, our students are taking school online, so they take several hours in front of a computer, in front of an iPad or whatever online device they have. So besides that, giving them exercises to do at home with in front of a screen, it takes a lot of them. So it's quite difficult.
Can I ask
Right.
you, are you continuing the program as a service that clients are paying for, or is this
That's
something
what I
that
was
you're
getting
doing
ready to ask, Dewey.
to keep them engaged during this time?
See, the thing is like our clients, they pay their membership fees to the club. Some clients or some members couldn't afford to pay the whole month because they have businesses and they don't have clients they're not profitable right now. So our my club just decreases our salary because they don't have income right now, and we're just giving our customers, our members, a lot of videos to do at home, uh, but they're not paying the monthly fee to the academy. So it's a bad thing.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, we've talked to both Dewey and I have talked to several coaches who are trying to find a way to generate some revenue during this time because, like you, they have families to support. And, from the flip side, as you mentioned, the families that were paying you prior to COVID-19 may have been impacted economically by all of this. Their businesses or their jobs may have disappeared or cut back. So, I mean, it's a real challenge for both sides of the equation, right? You as a coach need to generate income, which
Yes.
means your clients need to generate income to pay you. And, really what we're seeing, and Dewey, I'm going to let you talk more about this because you're a coach yourself. I'm not, I'm a parent. But what we're seeing is a lot of compromise going on, right? Where the coach is offering sessions either through Zoom or providing videos for the kids to watch and things to do at home for a reduced rate so that the families can still afford to pay something and both sides are getting a benefit out of it. But it's a challenge. I mean, your mortgage is your mortgage, your rent, your food costs are your food costs, right? Those haven't reduced. So Dewey, you jump in because you're the coach. You're seeing this from the other side of things.
I'm in a fortunate position. I work for a tennis academy that made a commitment to continue to provide salaries for people throughout this. So, so far, I've actually become more busy. I'm not getting paid anymore, but I'm still having the same amount of revenue that I have. And I've talked to several other coaches around the world who have made similar commitments to their staff. I think everybody at this point in time is looking at where does the revenue come from to do that? And if you're an independent coach, where does that revenue come from? And things that I've thought of are, getting people to purchase a package of lessons, and that's really just a loan, just like everything else, right? So you're paying it off instead of with future revenue, you're paying it off with your time in the future, but at least it's providing some kind of cash flow at this moment in time, so that those clients that you have who have the disposable means, and I heard you say very specifically, Coach, that some of the entrepreneurial clients that you have businesses that aren't generating any revenue, and so they're kind of hoarding whatever cash, and I guess hoarding is normally a bad word, but they're allocating it to the necessities, and oftentimes tennis isn't a necessity. So doing that, if we're in a situation where people are paying on an annual basis, so they're paying for group things or they're paying on a sessional type thing, so you have a 6-week session or something like that, maybe you can get some deposits for a future session, which both keeps them wanting to be a part of what you're doing because they know they're going to be coming back. So maybe they look at those resources that you're providing now a little more closely, like, oh yeah, let's keep doing the fitness because tennis is going to be coming back. Let's look at these other videos that Coach Cisneros and the staff sends us because we know that we're going to be going back to them. I don't know, do any of those things ring true with what you think or that you've thought about trying?
Yeah, actually, I've been trying some things. That's another income I've been getting. Most of my private lessons, we don't have a court. So what I did is like I sent them programs specifically for them. And some of them can afford it. And some don't, but I still send them information to my private, and they appreciate it. And some people are like, "Well, let's help out each other. You're in a difficult situation. I'm gonna try to keep paying you." And so it's like a good, those type of things are really appreciated here. But some coaches don't have that vision here in Mexico, but. It's like all this time, I've been taking on webinars, I've been taking courses. So coaches like you or this kind of type of programs give you some tips that I've been using. So my private lessons they still can pay me, some of them, because I keep continuing giving you information, recent information, and that's what I've been doing.
There are a lot of coaches that complain they don't have time in normal circumstances to do things like provide evaluations or have conferences, sitting down with the player and the parents and having planning sessions and things like that. And to me, it seems like this is the perfect time to start implementing those types of activities and charging for your time. I mean, you do the preparation, you, the coach, do the preparation, prepare an evaluation, prepare a training plan, a fitness plan, a competition plan, and then present that to the family and have a conversation around that. And that's a way for you to offer something very valuable to your client that they probably would appreciate very much. I know, when my
Yes.
son was competing, I would have given anything to have that kind of time with his coaches. But we were not his only client, and he had several other people, and just didn't have the time to do that. Now you have the time to do that as a coach, and wouldn't that be a great sort of offering to start ramping up, so that when things go back to normal, whatever that means, that you have the systems in place to do this on an ongoing basis and continue to be able to charge for it? What do you think about that
Definitely,
idea?
definitely. And you just said there a very true thing. It's like we as a coaches, we spend a lot of time on the court. I spend sometimes more than 10 hours on the court on a daily basis, and you don't have time to sometimes to prepare even a lesson, or to prepare for a program, or to uh, give continuity to lessons. And this is the perfect time now that with this lockdown, we have time to prepare ourselves to keep updated with the new things that come out in tennis. So you're right. We have to give additional value to our lessons, and keep closer to our clients. And you just, I think parents like you, or our clients, or our students are going to appreciate that. This is a perfect time to add value to our work, to our job.
I think we need to be looking at our craziness today as being our normal, possibly in the future. I know that here in the United States, a lot of the medical professionals are looking at there possibly being becoming a seasonal virus. So as we move out of this, we move back into it in the winter. And so being prepared for, if where you live becomes a hot spot, so to speak, that there might be localized closures like we're in right now, and going through the process of learning what we would do in that situation, I think is good practice for what we may experience in the future. A couple of the things that we found that really made sense was to be able to sit and watch a match together with a player. So you find a player and someone who they would like to play like, and then to be able to compare and contrast where our student is with the player that they're looking to emulate. So, it could be Naomi Osaka, and then looking and seeing, well, what happens in certain situations where Osaka succeeds and our current client is failing. And so then that giving us some places that can come almost directly from the match court to what we will then be training when we go back out, but also spending the time to be very clear, both us as the coach and the player, of what it is we're training, what the situation is, so that we can really drill down and get the most maximum value when we go back on court. And we're not just filling hours, right? That we want player to be on the court, whatever, 20 hours a week, some magic number. And we find ourselves just doing a lot of busy work. But I think we're finding that we can come up with a plan for the player so that when we get back on court, it becomes very specific and might accelerate, or will accelerate, the improvement.
Dewey, what technology are y'all using to watch matches with a player that's not in the room with you?
Isn't that the challenge? Because Zoom has been a challenge trying to watch anything that, like YouTube videos, and getting it to play at a speed that makes sense. Because we do this kind of what people are looking at right now, we have the ability to bring video in and to play it with a client, just like we could bring up a video right now and play it amongst us. So that's a little bit something that we use and haven't had to find as many of the other solutions, because we have this one available to us, and it just because we were in the broadcast world previously.
Mm-hmm. Do you know of any technologies out there?
I think it's hard. We do a similar thing during group practices, couple of times a week where some of the other coaches are presenting, and they're presenting from YouTube. They've done things kind of as simple as go to YouTube, mark where they want to watch the video from, create a link from that timestamp, and send that timestamp to the player, and they will watch independently on their own devices, but pretty much synced up, because the coach will say, okay, we're going to play now, and then we'll be commentating over a video. I think we watched a Djokovic Andy Murray US Open final match over the past 3 weeks, and that worked really well. They're not watching the Zoom, so to speak, for anything other than the audio of the coach commentating. They're watching the video play natively on YouTube someplace else, as opposed to being shared. And so we found
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's worked.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and I
worked
mean
really
that's
well.
something that's free and accessible to everybody with a computer.
Correct.
Two
I think
two really important
yesterday
factors
we
right
had
now.
we had close to 70 kids on the Zoom call yesterday, and they were all watching they watched the end of the match. I think the last 5 games or something of it yesterday, and nobody said that they couldn't sync up or that they were having trouble following along. It seemed to work really well.
And that's something that you as a coach can charge for, right? This is a session, so you can charge for people to participate, and only send the Zoom link to the people who have signed up and paid, and you can do payment through Venmo or whatever you like to use for that stuff. But I mean, I think that's a great way for a coach to generate some revenue, and it's relatively simple.
That's a good
What do
idea.
you think, Coach?
Yes, that's a good idea actually. But what I mean, Mexico has a lot of point of view in certain things different than the American way.
Sure.
Yeah, also Mexican parents in tennis are, we will call it, I don't like the term, but they cheap, they are very cheap, like because
We're
they're
cheap
paying the
everywhere.
membership.
Yeah.
I know.
That's a
And
universal issue.
sometimes, yeah, and sometimes they don't value the tennis profession, and because they charge they have to pay a membership fee to the club, and besides that you also charge for something like that. It has to be very careful the way to handle it, but it's a good idea. Because we do some sessions for fitness, for talking about tactics and stuff. But something like this, I haven't done it with YouTube. Actually, I like the idea. I don't know how it will work with charging, but I
I
might
have a
try it.
suggestion. I have a suggestion.
Yes?
What if you went to the club leader, whoever that is, your boss, the tennis
Yes.
director, or whoever, and offered a revenue share? So the club makes the charge, or the club, if they're already getting full dues from these people, that for every session you offer like this, you get X number of dollars from, that the club would pay you instead of charging the family. If they're already paying full dues and this is what they expect to be getting for paying their dues, you know what I mean? So maybe it's a
Yes.
conversation to have with your tennis director of, I'm trying to come up with ways to add value so that these people stick around and continue paying their dues, but I need to be compensated for the time that it's going to take me to develop the technology and to actually sit down and do the session with the members.
Yes. Another thing I was going to ask you guys, what do you think? It's like keep the motivation up with our students, because especially the kids, the younger ones or the young ones, uh, we see during our Zoom sessions that they're tired, they don't feel sometimes motivated. And what do you think? What do you guys are your suggestions, or if that's been happening to you guys. What do you guys think?
Can they go outside? Can kids go outside there?
Yes, yes, they can go outside.
So I've seen some really clever uses of things like hopscotch and families using chalk on the pavement to draw obstacle courses and like interval training stations on the sidewalk and using colorful chalk and maybe using some fun drawings. Maybe you could search online, or I'd be happy to send you a screenshot when we get off the call of things that I've seen and maybe suggest that the kids get outside and get creative with their little obstacle courses that they draw on their street and maybe do a contest, and in a Zoom call, have everybody share what they're doing and kind of inspire each other to come up with something more creative. I know in my podcast with John O'Sullivan, he talked about something he's doing with his youth soccer team, and that's a trick shot challenge. And so you could do something similar with the kids, do a trick shot challenge with their racket and a ball, or it could be, using the tennis ball, but a soccer trick shot, or, there are all kinds of different things that you can do to kind of push the envelope a little bit and make it fun and keep the competitive aspect and keep those competitive juices flowing in the kids because they want to one up each other, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I think there's two parts. One is you want to keep them engaged and make it enjoyable because, and I don't know if they're doing it there, but here almost all school has gone online, so the kids' screen time is up, and by the time we get them at 4:30 in the afternoon, they've been sitting in front of a computer for a long period of time. So we actually have two sessions that go on, one from 4:30 to 5:15 and then one from 5:30 to 6:30. The 4:30 to 5:15 is a live fitness class. So our strength and conditioning directors lead a Zoom call where the kids are all going through a fitness workout, that we're getting them moving again. It's very similar to what they would have if they were in academy, except for it's designed for someone who may be confined to a very small space. Here in the US and where we are, the kids generally have pretty good sized yards and things like that. But we do have a couple of kids who live in apartments and might not be able to do it outside. So what you would be, all the exercises are designed to be able to do in a room if you just cleared some things out of the center of the room. The coaches lead, they also do it with them, and then the fitness coaches, and then the other coaches will watch the Zoom call and talk to their primary students through the call, telling someone when they're doing it really well, somebody when they're taking too much time getting from that one exercise to the next, and it keeps everybody pretty engaged. And then we go into what we would call a regular academy session. So this afternoon, I'm actually leading it, where we're talking about game style. So we'll be talking about today aggressive baseliner. Last week it was counter-attacker. So those are two ways that we found, okay, let's get the kids moving, get them engaged, and then put them back into that setting in front of a screen where they've been all day. I think one of the things we all want to think about is, as tennis coaches, for a long time, it has been, we pay people based on their legs, right? So with those young coaches that just finished playing on the tour and they can run around and chase balls, and we're paying them for that. All of us who have moved past that recognize we are so much smarter today than what we were 5 years ago. I think most of us would probably cringe if we were to look at a lesson we taught 5 years ago and said, oh wow, I can't believe I actually taught like that. Here's our opportunity to begin presenting ourselves as the knowledge leaders and getting people to compensate us for what we know, not for our legs. We're no longer beasts of burden. And I think that's a mind shift that we have to create. But once we do that, we will permanently be in that place of, okay, they're paying us for what we know, not for what we do, so to speak.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Well, hopefully we've helped you a little bit in this call.
Oh,
And
you guys
go
did
ahead.
actually. Yeah, I came up with good ideas thanks to you guys. Yeah, that's where I like the American way. I did college in Arizona when I played college tennis, and I always loved the American way to do business. You guys are number one in doing that. So yeah, I came up with good ideas. Thanks to both of you guys with the invitation, and very helpful.
yeah,
Good.
let's
Well, I
check
hope
back
you'll
in
check
with you.
back in.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
How,
Yeah, definitely. Let us know how it goes and how your clients respond and how the kids respond.
how,
definitely. Yeah.
right at the moment in your municipality, how long are you in a kind of stay in place, stay inside kind of order?
Uh, we have to stay inside the whole all May. We have to come out until June 1st.
Wow. Okay. So you
So we
still
still
have
got time. So
five,
I have
almost
time
6 weeks.
to now do different things, and I come up with four good ideas that you guys talked about. And thank you.
Good. Well, I think
Great.
we're also going to be in a place where we're a little be a forerunner for you in terms of what it looks like as tennis programs start coming back online. So we'll have the experience of, does it make sense to start with private lessons or very small semi-private lessons, or when do groups start making sense? When do people start feeling comfortable? And I suspect there people will feel comfortable earlier in the opening up process than here, because they will have had a chance to see other places go through it. Where right now we are the absolute first that I anticipate will be even trying to get back out there, other than those that have never left the court. So there's a fair number of very independent U.S. coaches who have found courts to work on and have continued to work right through to this day.
I want to just throw out too, I'm doing actually two Facebook Live sessions tomorrow. One
Okay.
with a coach, Trent Tucker of the Tucker Tennis Academy in Oklahoma. Trent and one of his coaches, Matthias Mari, are going to be on. And then I'm
All
doing a
right.
second session with a junior tournament director from Atlanta who runs gobs and gobs and gobs of tournaments. And he's going to talk about what's happening from the tournament director side, which may be of interest to the kids that you work with, Rodolfo. You know, hearing what the tournament directors are doing now that they can't offer tournaments, and how they're
Oh,
preparing for when they can start offering tournaments again, and advice to the families of how to manage all that. So
Who is
both
that,
of those
Lisa?
sessions maybe. Turhan Bernay.
Ah, Coach T.
Yeah. Yeah.
can, can you email me the times and the username so I can log in
Yeah,
to
it's
watch them?
it's just Facebook. It's just on our Facebook page, but I'll send you the link.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do. So it's facebook.com/parenting aces. That's
Okay.
that's our Facebook page. And it'll be
Parenting
live
aces.
there. So parenting aces, yeah. But I'll email it to you, Rodolfo, for sure.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot.
Sure.
Good. Well, we went well past our 20 minutes today.
Don't we always?
That, yeah. So thank you, Coach. And we look forward to checking back in with you sometime in the
For
next
sure.
month,
Sure.
if you wouldn't mind. So,
I wouldn't mind, and I will be very grateful.
ah,
Stay in
thank you.
touch for sure. All right, Dewey,
All
it's
right. I'll
been
leave you.
real.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes.
Adios,
Bye, Coach.
coach. Bye, Dewey.
It's another one in the books.
Yeah.
going to look different again next week. I suspect it's going to look very different. We'll be talking about what those programs that have started back up are, and you and I both having serious Atlanta connections. I think we will both know people who are back in it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So, all right.
All right.
Have a wonderful week.
You too. Hang in there.
Bye.
Bye.